G'day, I'm Philip Duncan from WeatherWatchTV on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us for our Australia-only 7-day forecast. And we've got some very good news for some of you that need rain and with these bushfires that are burning out of control. Let's kick off with the Thursday animated wind map. This is for 3 o'clock this afternoon if you're in Sydney, so you can work out the time zones wherever you live. But basically what you're seeing is a lot of wind coming from off the sea. Southerlies all along the southern coastline, easterlies all along the eastern coastline, and up here to the north, it is so hot inland, you've got those sea breezes feeding in. So a little bit cooler for most of the coastal places, but inland, it is certainly hot. So it's a little bit of a difference from last week when we were talking about lots of places like Sydney getting into the mid to late 30s. So let's have a look at these fires that are burning all across Queensland. There are others burning in other parts of Australia, but this is the one making the news headlines at the moment. We've got in the red dots, those are the ones burning for the last 6 hours, and the ones in the yellow dots for the last 24 hours. So you can certainly see there are a lot of fires burning around at the moment, and those easterly winds driving in just a couple of isolated showers. But the good news is, in the days ahead, we're going to be seeing a lot more wet weather. This is just for the next 3 days. We've got a 7-day map in a moment, and this expands that rain further out. But in this area here, halfway roughly between Brisbane and Newcastle, you're seeing around about 50 millimetres of rain coming through. There'll be a few heavier falls inland that are isolated from thunderstorms. And some of that wet weather does spread up into where these fires are burning. So there is some good news, and that is only for the next 3 days. As you'll see in the maps ahead, there is a plenty of wet weather coming in for the eastern side of Australia, but it's mostly dry elsewhere, at least just for the next few days. And we've got excessive heat now, which is 40 degrees and above. That's when you get an excessive heat warning, and that's in the areas here in red. So that's affecting Katherine, just out of Darwin. Darwin itself, not so bad again, with those sea breezes just keeping temperatures down a few more degrees. Here is the next 7-day rainfall departure from normal. It's just a simple graph to look at. Where is it wetter than usual or drier than usual? And so the area of interest will be this area here where it is raining, and you're going to see some wetter than usual weather for this time of the year. So that is good timing considering what is going on. And we've got thunderstorms elsewhere. That's why you're seeing some blue and white. White is average rainfall, blue is more than usual. There we are. There are those thunderstorms I was just talking about. This map shows the current thunderstorms, but also at the time of recording this, the current warnings. And we've got coastal warnings here for strong winds in the marine area out towards Western Australia. And around Melbourne, just a warning for sheep farmers with temperatures tonight being quite cold, getting down around 0. So let's get into the forecast now. There's heaps to talk about. So we'll kick off with Friday. And let's start with that. So we've got these downpours bubbling up along the eastern side of Australia. It is a little bit hit and miss as to who gets them. And there's a bit of a change down here, a bit of a cooler southerly. Melbourne, 16 degrees. That is the coldest day that you've got coming up over the next 7 days. Now down here in Hobart, only 13 degrees, but just a little bit further north in Launceston, 21 degrees. Now, I'm fascinated with this place name, because there are 3 different ways of saying it. The way that I thought was Launceston, which is how you would say it if you were British, and my mother is. But Tasmania, if you're in Tasmania, you call it Launceston. I think I've got that correct. Whereas the rest of mainland Australia call it Launceston. So there's 3 different ways to say it. But the locals will go with the way you say it, which is Launceston. 21 degrees. So 13 in Hobart, 21 degrees in Launceston. That is a big difference in a short area. So that just shows you what's going on down there. If you do live there and I got the pronunciation wrong, let me know. It's always a fun game to play. 25 degrees in Canberra with some showers for you. Sydney, 22 degrees and cloudy. You've got a cooler week coming up, Sydney. After the hot week you've just had, it'll be cooler this coming week. And up in Cairns, 30 degrees for you basically every day for the next 7 days coming up. Let's get into Saturday's weather now in Adelaide. You've got a sunny weekend on the way. The wind sort of shifts around more of an easterly, so that brings the sun out for you, and your temperature's around 23 to 25 degrees across the weekend. In Sydney, though, some thunderstorms are going to be developing. Now, they will go right through inland. You can sort of see them in some of these blobs of yellow. That's where we're seeing some thunderstorms and heavy downpours. developing on Saturday. Now, if you go further up the coastline, 22 degrees when you get to the Gold Coast. Got some showers in there, and really for the next few days, showers are coming up for the next 4 days around the Gold Coast. And then a little further north, well, a lot further north actually, if we go up to Darwin, your temperatures around about 33, 35 degrees for the next 5 days ahead. It's a few degrees cooler than inland because of that sea breeze, which you'll be very grateful for. And Perth, 36 degrees as your hot air comes in for you. All right, let's go into Sunday now. And there's a bit of a cool down happening for some areas over here with thicker cloud and this high pressure zone moving along. Canberra's 19 degrees on Sunday. That's the coolest you've got coming up for the next 7 days ahead. And Sydney, only about 19 or 20 degrees with rain falling for you. And Brisbane, you've got rain or showers. Might just be showers, but a chance of some thunderstorms developing there for you. Now, if we head over to the western side, we were just talking about the heat you've got. If you're in Albany, 28 degrees for you, and that is the warmest day you've got coming up here on Sunday out of the next 7 days. Let's get into Monday. Adelaide, you are going up with your temperatures, 27 degrees for you. Melbourne, 27 degrees going up for you. Perth, dropping down to 24 for you on Monday, and we've still got downpours, some of them even inland, further inland than they were before. So that'll be some good news for the farmers and growers that are further out and away from the usual rain that you get in the coastal zones. So let's get through into next week a bit more now. Tuesday, Melbourne, 28 degrees for you, and those heavy showers now start to move down towards you. So your high of 28 or getting up to around 30, that'll be the hottest of your days for the next 7 days through coming up. So enjoy your Tuesday, but there'll be a little bit of rain in there as well. Also on Tuesday, Alice Springs, 37 degrees for you. To be honest with you, you're hovering around 36 or 37 degrees for the next 7 days ahead. But some beautiful weather for you here. And Canberra will be around about 25 degrees as we go through to Wednesday of next week with more downpours appearing. So if you noticed, every day of the week, we have got downpours between Brisbane and Sydney. A lot of it is around the New South Wales, Queensland border. That's where we're seeing most of that wet weather. But offshore systems, easterlies, and then inland warmth are all working in your favour. So I think the next week coming up is a lot more positive than the week you've just had. That is all from me. Thanks again for all the great comments we get on YouTube. I read every single one of them, even if we can't reply to every one of them. We certainly do read them. Love to hear from all of you. So thanks so much. We're back again next week. We have no video tomorrow, Friday. Back again next week. But don't forget our Climate Watch update, which is a monthly and seasonal outlook, has just been released on the November 1st, which was yesterday. If you haven't seen it yet, it is mostly for New Zealand, but we do cover Australia in it as well. So if you're a farmer or a grower, you might find it interesting. That's all from me. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.